Good morning, Facebook. Come on in. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Periscope. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Give me a few moments to share, and we're going to get started on today's broadcast. Bear with me here momentarily, and we will get started. Welcome, come on in. Hello to the live viewers, as well as hello to the replay viewers. Good morning to you. KY Clickling007, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please tag and share. I do truly appreciate it. We're going to get started here in just one moment. We talk all things faith, finances, and the freedom of good credit. And may God bless you on Periscope. Hope all is well with you. So let's get started. Welcome to the Money Matters Morning Show, where we talk all things faith, finances, and the freedom of good credit. And I'm your host, Nefateria Robinson, and I help professionals fix their credit so they can buy the things that they want. And if you've had some credit challenges in your life and you would like to have my free, no obligation consultation, please go to bit.ly/book with Nef. I truly appreciate that. Good morning to you, Shauna. How are you, hon? Thanks for joining me. Please tag and share. We're going to get started in just one moment. Give me one moment. Take care of something on Periscope, and we're going to get started. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh. I don't know what I just... Sorry, guys. I'm going to get started here in just 1 second. Share. Okay. Okie dokie. And... all right, good to go, good to go. So today the title of this broadcast is called, Can I Ride Your Good Credit? So I had, as always, you guys know that y'all can submit questions reference credit, budgeting, saving, paying off your debt to bit.ly/asknefr, and I answer your question here on the Money Matters Morning Show, where you catch me here every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go live on Facebook as well as on Periscope, but you can also catch me on YouTube and Nefateria Robinson as well. So today I had somebody submit a question that said they're trying to rebuild their credit score, and they wanted to know if they was added to their relative, like their parents or someone of that nature, credit, will it, as an authorized user, will that increase their credit score? So I'm just going to talk about it just a little bit briefly today. So authorized user. So first I want you to know that that's like a commonly thing. It's the most common strategy people tend to use when they're trying to either build their credit or they've had some credit challenges or some type of credit disaster, and so they're trying to recover from that. It's basically, they're equally effective in both scenarios, whether you're trying to build your credit or if you've had some credit challenges, had some things go on in your life, and you're trying to rebuild your credit. So sometimes your parents may do it to get you a good foot in life and go ahead and start building a credit history for you, or you may get married to someone and their credit history is not is not where yours is per se, or their score is not where yours is, and you're looking to help them increase their score. When I married my husband, his credit score wasn't where I preferred it to be based on the things that I wanted. He didn't have necessarily a bad credit score, but it wasn't in the 700, 800 range that I was looking for it to be. So when we got together and got married, I did add him as an authorized user on some of my credit cards. So it helped to, increase his credit. And then he eventually was able to purchase things on his own with a better interest rate than he was in the past. So it does work. It is a strategy that works. Like I said, if you have a child and you're trying to establish them a good credit history, but don't add them as an authorized user. If you're missing payments, not paying your bill, not paying it on time or anything like that, that's not going to help them. Only if you have been a good steward over a credit card that you may have, and you've had it a long time and you haven't missed any payments, and you have established a good credit rating yourself, then it may help to assist your children in establishing a good credit history. Good morning, Naomi. How are you, sis? Establish a credit history. Thank you for the heart love on Periscope. Please tag and share. I truly appreciate that. So basically how it works, you basically add that person to one of your existing credit cards. So basically, like in my scenario, I was the primary credit card holder, and I basically contacted my credit card company and said I want to authorize and my spouse as an authorized user on my credit card. Now, this is not a co-signing situation. It's not a joint card holder or anything like this. He was just an authorized user only. And so basically, once I did that, a few days later, he got a card that came to our home in his name. Now, even though the car was in his name, it's still based off of me and what I do. Once he activated, he has just as much power as I did. So being the fact that he had a car in his actual name, he can go swipe it. He had access to whatever the credit limit was, and he could basically do what he wanted to do with that credit card. So let's talk about the liability of the authorized user. The authorized user has no liability. Good morning to you, KM 1974 on Periscope. Good morning to the others that just joined us on Periscope. Sorry if I didn't catch your name. Thank you for the heart love. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for tagging and sharing. So like I said, as far as the liability of the authorized user, they basically don't have any. They don't have any liability. The liability is on the primary card holder. They have access and they can charge the balance up to whatever the balance that person has on that card. So it always remains the primary card holder's responsibility, or if it's a joint card holder, they're also responsible. So the authorized user has no responsibility at all. They have a card in their name, but they're not responsible for paying it back or anything like that. It's all on that primary card holder. So I do caution you guys, before you allow somebody to be an authorized user on your credit card accounts and actually give them that card, be mindful of that person, because they're not responsible. So if you have a credit card that got a $20,000 limit on it and you give it to that individual and they charged it to $20,000, or if they charge $200, it will be the primary card holder's responsibility to pay it back to that credit card company. So maybe in like a few months or so, you'll start seeing it show up in the authorized user credit history. It'll start showing up on their credit report. But that's not 100%. So you may want to check with the credit card company and find out, I've authorized my spouse on my credit card. How do y'all report the credit history of an authorized user? Does it get reported just as one of the trade line, just like it does on the primary card holder, or not? So you may want to check just to verify that is correct for the credit card that you may decide to allow somebody to be an authorized user on. Let's see. Okay, so yes, is it possible for an authorized user score to increase based on being added to someone else's report? Yes, it definitely could increase by being added, because they basically riding off the fact that that primary person has established a good credit history. And so, yes, it definitely can increase. But generally, for you to get the best results, you need it to be added to a card that they've had for a while, a card that they have a low balance relative to how much they're actually charging on that credit. So, like I said, if you have a credit card that has a credit limit of $20,000 on it, but you might have only charged $200 or $1,000 on it, that's the card you want to be added to. You don't want to be added to a card that they just have. It has a $500 limit and they've already maxed it out. You want to be added to a card that's older. You want to be added to a card where it has a low balance relative to their credit limit. You also want to ensure that they've been paying this bill on time to this creditor. They haven't had any missed payments or anything like that, so that all that good history that they have there with that particular creditor will reflect on your credit report as well. The best part about being an authorized user, I'm definitely, even though I did it for my husband, that was my husband. So I'm not advocating for you. You have taken the time and been a good steward over your finances and have established a good credit score for you to just go and help every person that you know that does not have a good credit score and let them piggyback off of your good credit. I'm not necessarily advocating for that, but I do understand in certain scenarios, a spouse scenario, or you're trying to get your child to build a good credit history, I understand that it may be an alternative for you, but I'm not advocating that for all scenarios. Just be mindful of who you decide to be an authorized user on, because they have just as much charging power as you do, because they get a card in their name, but they're not responsible. So like the best part is in the scenario is that they're not liable for it. The primary card holder is responsible for it. So if for whatever reason, and it's a catch-22, because if the primary person for whatever reason at some point decide not to be responsible, it's going to affect the authorized user negatively as well. And at the same time, if the authorized user is not being a good steward of the authorized card privileges that they have, then the primary person is going to be responsible for that as well. So this strategy, like I said, it will definitely run its course, but at the same time, you have to do some things to actually establish your own credit at some point go out and get your own credit card or something of that nature to get established on your own credit yourself. So just to quickly kind of recap a little bit about authorized users and, you know, how it works a little bit today is basically, like I said, it's one of the most of the time people allow people to be an authorized user on their card if they're trying to establish their credit for that individual, or they're trying to help them recover for some type of credit issue or whatever. In my scenario, like I said, my husband didn't have bad credit. He was able to get things on his own. It's just I wanted him to have stellar credit like me so that we could get good interest rates, and it wouldn't be a question when I wanted certain things in my life. So like I said, sometimes it's just you want to build somebody's credit, like a child or something of that nature, or you're somebody's trying to recover from credit disaster and you're just trying to help them out. But be mindful of the person you choose to help out. Like I said, I'm not necessarily an advocate for this, but in individual situations, it may behoove you to do this for an individual. How it works, like I said, you're basically going to add that person as an authorized user to your card. Make sure you're using an older card. Make sure it's a card that you're paying on time. Make sure you're not maxing out. It's not a card where you have a high balance on it compared to the credit limit on it. Also, in a few months, the authorized user should start seeing it on their credit report in their trade lines. But for whatever reason, if they're not, then you need to contact that creditor and find out what is the reporting practices for authorized users. Like I said, your best scenario is to get on a card that person's had for a long time, that they haven't missed any payments on, and they have a low balance compared to their actual credit limit on the card. Now, like I said, the best part for the authorized user is they have no liability whatsoever. It all falls on that primary card holder. So just be mindful of who you elect to be an authorized user on your card if you do decide to use this method in order to build somebody's credit or to help somebody that's trying to recover from some credit issues that they've had in the past. You can catch me here every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk all things faith, finances, and the freedom of good credit. If you happen to have any questions, you can submit your questions at bit.ly/AskNefR. You can also submit them in the comments. I do check the comments and respond back. Thank you for the likes. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for tagging and sharing. Thank you for Shauna and Naomi for joining me live. Thank you for all the Periscope viewers for joining me live as well. You can catch me on Facebook, Periscope, as well as Instagram at Nefateria Robinson. I'm on Twitter at ACTWithNef. Thanks for joining me. Y'all have a blessed day. And remember, owe no man nothing but to love him. For he that have loveth hath fulfilled the law. Have a wonderful day. Bye.